What's up, everyone? So we're gonna look at Holiday Lillie and Pre-Marina. So this is my second video. My first video was kind of crap. uh, but I'm gonna try to just do this one in one take because I work like a lot of people do, so I don't really have a lot of time to like edit the video and make it kind of easier to listen to. So I'm gonna do my best, even though I'm still new to this, to create an informed video without sounding dumb or stuttering, or you get the gist. So let's really try to give you guys some good information and give people who are maybe on the verge of pulling her or maybe don't know whether they should pull on her, give you guys a better decision. So let's look into it. I've looked at her and Bugsy already because they were, they seemed a little more interesting in my opinion, but I am gonna look at them one more time just so that way we can get a good look. And so let's see, let's make music on the trainer move, applies the move gauge acceleration effect to the allied field of play, raises the user's special attack by 4 ranks. Okay, and then yeah, so makes her an offensive unit with move gauge acceleration. And I'm gonna jump real quick to the skills because skills are pretty important. Hit the gas 9. Pep Rally 2 raises the speed of all allied sync pairs by 2. That's nice. And powers up an ally's moves when its speed is raised. Okay, very simple. It's, yeah, very simple. There's not really much to say about that. And then, of course, the trainer move. So you can use it, not the trainer move, the buddy move. So you can use it 3 times. You have to use a move first, then you can use the buddy move, then you have to use another trainer move. So it's not super fast paced, but the effects are nice. Never misses, reduces sync move countdown by 1, super effective up next effect to all allied sync pairs, which is pretty nice. Applies the free move next effect to all allied sync pairs. So you only get this 3 times. Specifically looking at the free move next effect, you only get this 3 times, but by the time you're done using that, your whole team also has basically full speed, max speed. And this is also really nice because whenever you're against stages where the speed is where the enemy's lowering your speed, it's like Sonya, where you could basically always have max speed, especially because she raises it by 2 by doing an attack move, which is honestly pretty nice. I'm not gonna lie, that the unit is a very nice, she does have a pretty nice kit. And she's an attacker, so I wouldn't say she's half support, half attacker. She's more so a pretty good attacker with supporting capabilities, which is pretty nice. It's like an interesting type of power creep that we're seeing now, where now attackers are also becoming supports, and we've been seeing that slowly but surely. Just looking at this base kit, I do think the unit is like quote unquote worth pulling for. Also seeing, I recently found out that sleep chaining is very nice in Battle Rally. It's pretty nice when you're trying to cheese a stage. There was a stage this week that I did that was super hard. I can't remember which one it was. But I basically had to sleep chain it with, I believe it was Rosa. And yeah, so even just her having seeing alone is useful. There's honestly a lot that she can do. Just applying the super effective of next effect is always useful. Gauge management, I personally love units that are good at managing gauge, especially for Gauntlet and stuff. I just love it. Like when Beat came out, I love Beat too, so that alone makes me want to pull on this unit. But everyone has like their own priorities for why they want a unit. Lillie in and of herself is already like one of those characters that If you like her, you get her. If you don't like her, you kind of just avoid her because of how often we see her. So a lot of people, I think, are going to be very, not iffy, but they're going to be kind of trying to decide if they're going to get this unit or not. Really on the verge of pulling, not pulling. And again, it's difficult too because February, the anniversary is also coming up, 2.5, or not 2.5, but you get what I mean, the 0.5 anniversary. And then of course there is the fact that most holiday units come out not too long. How do I say this? Holiday units, they will probably be available to scout in February as well. Obviously not guaranteed, but we do see that a lot. So there's also the potential that you could skip Lillie now and then get her later. Not too much later too, so you should also consider that when you're trying to decide whether to get the unit or not. Fairy is not the most abundant type as well offensively, but we do have some really good ones. Obviously there's Gladian, and Nimona. So those are really the two biggest ones. People are theorizing too that we're gonna get. People are also theorizing that we're going to get. I don't even know if I can talk about this, but I am. We might be getting like an Arcsu Diantha soon with Gardevoir, because that kind of seems like the pattern that we're going with, that they're going with. Which is, she's probably going to be like the strongest by a landslide, and that's because Gladian is already super good. So if you're thinking of like an offensive fairy type, she's going to be good for sure, but I don't think she's going to come like close. But I think the point of her unit, her kit, is not to be like the #1 best fairy type damage dealer, but to be a good support. And not just for fairy, for like basically anything. Support, sprint. If any of you guys don't have support sprint, super useful, especially for battle rally, for anything really. So I think there's a lot to her kit that would make her useful in multiple places, as an attacker, as a support. She can be useful basically anywhere in battle rally. The support sprint is super OP'd in my opinion for support sprint stages, to get that double multiplier and to be an attacker in addition to that. I don't even know if we have any other attacking support sprint characters. We might, but I could be wrong. And then you could also use her as a attacker for support or sprint stages, so it doesn't have to be a support/sprint stage, but you can use her on like a stage where support is one of the options or sprint is one of the options, and she's a great attacker for that. She's not exclusively AoE, but oh, sorry guys, I'm blinking out. But her buddy move does hit all opponents. And obviously her nuke does not hit all opponents, but I think that her buddy move will deal enough damage to kill, if not almost kill, the side, so it's really not going to be a big deal. And again, her kit kind of is built around probably bringing another attacker, so yeah, she's going to be good, honestly, especially for a holiday unit, I feel like. But as usual, you don't have to pull in her. I don't think you're not really going to be missing out, but I do think if you're on the verge and like you're like, oh, is she going to be useful? Am I going to get my gems worth? Honestly, I think you will. Because I can't really think of anywhere where she really wouldn't be useful. Even like in Champion Stadium, you could use her even off type, just for the gauge support and the super effective of next, obviously. There's probably better supports for that scenario, but I mean, that counts, I would say. Looking at her grid, I haven't really gone to her grid yet because it's pretty simple. Like, it's basically just damage. You get it if you want her to be dealing more damage. If you're just using her for the utility, I don't really think you need it, because she does have a support EX rule but she's not necessarily an actual like tank support. And her grid kind of reflects that. It's really just a lot of damage dealing stuff. Brain power, ramming speed. That's really it. Like in my opinion, the three most useful things are brain power, ramming speed up here. This is really nice to first sync move up. No, first sync move, team special boost. So use your sync move, everyone gets special moves up by 2. Kind of sucks that it's only the first time, but it's still nice. Can't complain. And the grand entry is also very nice for really hitting that +6 special attack. But that's really it, in my opinion, I mean. And Fortuitous 9 is obviously good for certain scenarios up here on the top. Discourage 2 if you're really just trying to go for like debuffs, like if you're supporting a unit that uses power play and needs as many stats lowered as possible, obviously. That adds to her kit. That's not nothing. And she gets more utility with Sing too. Has a 50% chance of raising one of her stats. I don't know why this is there, but could be useful. A troublemaker on Seeing. That's actually pretty nice because without that you'd have to use you'd have to get the lucky cookie that increases her accuracy. So again, it's I wouldn't get this just for Sing though. I think she can work as a sleep chainer without 3 out of 5 or 2 out of 5, but it's nice, it adds up. But I still think that you would only really upgrade her if you're planning on using her as an attacker. And again, if you have Gladian, Nimona, or are gonna hypothetically get a certain Diantha that may or may not come out in the future, we might not use her as like an attacker super often as Tyre is on, so that is something to keep in mind. I feel like that's important. Obviously, if you like Lillie, that's a different story, but if you're looking for a fairy attacker at the moment, it might not age super well because I feel like the best of her kit is already there. There isn't any like crazy supporting feature that you get at 2 out of 5 or 3 out of 5 that unlocks. It's already there, like the free move next effect, the speed, super effective up next. So yeah, no, I don't want to rant for too long. That's basically the kit. I will say it will be interesting also to play around the super effective of next effect. That's interesting. Whether or not you're using her 4 fairy on type or not, because you have to use a move first. Let's say you're trying to get super effective up next on her sync nuke. Obviously use the trainer move. The user uses any move once, that should unlock. So trainer move, you use the buddy move. Then you can use one more move before her sync. At that point you can use Sing. You probably don't want to waste it on Moonblast, so you could do basically 2 things. You either use the trainer move, then the buddy move, then like you Sing so you don't waste up the super effective up next. Then you'll have super effective up next for the sync. Or you use her trainer move, then Sing. The buddy move will unlock after the trainer move, but we could go trainer move, Sing, then the buddy move. You'll get super effective up next, then you use her sync. It doesn't really matter. Of course, I could be blanking out, and the buddy move might not unlock until you use like an actual attacking move, but I don't think that's how that works. I think when the user uses any move, that means any move. So even just using the trainer move should unlock it. So, yeah, definitely interesting to think about in that aspect if you're trying to get super effective up next on her nuke. And then of course, if you're trying to give it to someone else, you basically, that's where you kind of just wait to use the buddy move. And that could work too. You could literally just like for longer battles, you could wait to use her buddy move until right before the attacker sinks. And that works too just as well. You don't get the theme of next effect until you use it. But even without the buddy move giving free move next effect, she has a passive that raises speed of everyone to begin with. So that is there's a lot to like think about, because let's say that you do wait to use her buddy move until right before each sync to give it to either herself or someone else. If that does happen and you're running 2 attackers that like have 4 gauges, you might have an issue with gauges temporarily. So that is just something to keep in mind. Like, until you get that free move next effect, her and the other person might be fighting for that gauge, and you might be struggling to wait until you finally get like the +6 speed and the free move next effect. But I feel like after the first sync, it shouldn't be an issue. Like, once that first sync happens and you get that free move next effect, obviously before the sync, then you'll be fine. That's just something to consider. But I think that's what makes the unit pretty fun, is like, she's not just a plain Jane attacker. From an attacking perspective, yeah, she just has ramming speed, brain power, but the utility and the support that she brings with Sing definitely could make her a fun unit. So I'd have to say I recommend her, guys, but I recommend her if you're interested in getting her, but don't get her just because I said to get her, if that makes sense. Yeah, that's basically it. I'm gonna cut it short here just because, again, I got work tomorrow, and I think I already have to edit one part of the video. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. I'm gonna do Bugsy probably tomorrow. Bugsy's very interesting too. I do think that she's a little bit better and more, I should probably save this for the Bugsy video, but I'll say it here. I do think that she has more utility. But obviously, there's not a lot of Bugzone units, and he's the first support Bugzone, if I remember correctly. But yeah, I'll save that for the next video. Yeah, if you made it this far, thanks for watching. Hope you guys subscribe and all that. And yeah, have a good day, everyone.